in the chong amo program nyo gam sama borwa ganik studio luget ne ba sehad ango gam ngo gale je mide boshek je gro la alliance week je mide je gasa ga roman le kare manegi mi gbinde wi no kabla ne ndo maje gu bur la ne kare manek now mas da dabtani bini anogneat je ndo je piche mosinak je ga rudo je am elgon radio my wendia ta dabto jekto tris guborge ngini, and then after that le chibi jindo to kolwan ka amon lakwari, and then after that le chi nyuriat ngalala det nye babashida passion ni the introductory part first. Yeah.
What do I say as a meaning?
Your name
what you do.
Yes, then we move on.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Namanja Shirat and I work with the SRHR Alliance Uganda and I am the youth country coordinator.
All right, my student.
I'm Marjorie Celestine, a student of Gamatui Girls. Jalangat Esther Labu, aboye ka apsa, aigu president nebo Youth Advisory Committee, nebo lugeta up SRHR Alliance Uganda.
Thank you.
My name is Zoe Flavia, senior 3 student from Gamatui Girls Secondary School and the assistant head girl.
Yes.
Right. Welcome.
Kasaba krom gota absabinya go sabu togol chigurola Lota Isaac Youth Action Movement President Reproductive Health Uganda Sabi Sub-Region Gaitava.
Okay. Good evening everyone. I'm an S3 student from Gamatui Girls visiting from Canada. My name is Natalia Tatui Chelangat.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much.
Okay, Gaitabon moderator mangwaile chikastesu because of pitik saba ngamos by Islam gla assalamu alaikum amola kan yokwanile tisma kemonges aikpan volunteer nyabare chu ngai ko use advocate masje bonda kan program je bonda bana nyikaita bongorom.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, Nambi Rosemary Serunkuma, head teacher at Gamatui Girls, the Green School.
All right, thank you so much. It's me, Victor, and then as you are present over the day. Now, masingetat asadatab tanya bini singet le chibi jinda tokol wanagi kal makwayat to ikcha mosina kibjo je bondage ambasheta pashondinye kabor wagan le jemide nye jigure le alliance week ango masdaniati kamastanya bini chibor wait le alliance week karoman kegne. Alright, thank you so much. Abro gabor wagan le je majajingat le gana mage ago Alliance Week. Otherwise, let me invite my good friend here. Tell us about the annual Alliance Week and why Kapchorwa.
So the SRHR Alliance is a consortium of organizations that work with young people to ensure that they realize their SRHR needs. We are an organization that works to ensure that young people are informed about their SRHR and are able to make informed decisions about their health and well-being. The annual Alliance Week is an activity that is week-long that we do in a region or a sub-county, a district that we go to. We do not randomly choose the Alliance Week. We choose a community that needs our services, a community that we want to reach out to, a community that needs to have information. But we majorly target communities that are having challenges with their young people. Challenges like teenage pregnancies, early marriages, menstrual health management issues, communities where there is gender-based violence, communities that are vulnerable, or communities that have compounding vulnerabilities, and a lot of marginalized young people. And that is why we chose Kapchora as a region specifically, because there are a lot of challenges that young people are facing in Kapchora, and they could have more information and services brought closer to them when it comes to SRHR, which in full is sexual reproductive health and rights.
Thank you so much. Kal makwala je bondo winda je mosit kabzam sabin lebili ya maka kapchorwa crypto dige ago winak chomi kibinde gari manik amasa tatap tanyi binya no kneat chelangat kumboy chelangat le amne garo man kot la mi gar manik tai kebor ye ngalek tiju bo winok je mi kibinde gari manigi mesin garo mane am wigi nak tiju je gurela alliance week.
chachang le ye gegas population nebo Uganda le che jongich le pigo je karimanik ngo statistics le jigu 77%. That means le majority of the people che kwani kwek kitan Uganda le biche karimanik gin baro ya le ki igaje mola gaje yuenji karimanik tai amu wigin ba alliance week le che mujajin ga tapsa lagne kinde nyemi gibunde karimanik gije kwanda solutions ku karimanik am nye je mwe kwak la karimanik la kando ye gatai but ye je mwe ale karimanik che jongich am bandan. That means that they are the leaders of today. So that is why we bring Alliance Week to Karimangi, Kindoji. Amye jingle la Karimanik chetanganye ye missing and out on these opportunities. I in la gajipana ni kaple go soilin. Chichenyure la Karimanik che mengan bagusungu kage bi go jogi wo gitu nin baro chemite je pushinap sale Karimanik che baraje wenji tai Alliance Week singet kunyor information about SRHR kana magago le burtoi chek to karimanik che yega kasle ngojemi agogoyok tosle karimanik che mi gunyoshi ak koyegi shedi ngalega HIV ago AIDS karimanik kyo ginje mde je tikine apsale karimanik che lasma je yunje tai am ye jak to je titirech.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Kal magpeso meri karimanik la je majela amida tai ka pizza ndoka ka sakpe la karimanik chi mi tai che gaskarom la je burgie ngale chi changa pizza. Now let me welcome back my friend here. Tell us more about the International Youth Day. When is it happening in Kapchorwa district and where are we celebrating it from?
So we are having the International Youth Day tomorrow, Friday. It is always on the 12th of August, but because this has been the Alliance Week and we couldn't stop the services or the information that we were giving for now halfway through, but we will be having our post celebrations tomorrow. So the International Youth Day theme this year is local youth actions for the SDGs and beyond. What this theme tells us is that it is centering around how young people, not just those ones in international spaces or the global spaces, can drive agendas, can drive advocacy, even at the local level. It is a theme that lets us know that young people at every level can still help translate the SDGs or the Sustainable Development Goals into real sustainable action and community-based action. So we'll be having it tomorrow at the district, at Coke Hall specifically, and we'll be having a march from the main hospital here in Kapchora, and we will march with the band, with our banners, all the way to Coke Hall, where we will have our celebrations tomorrow morning.
Okay, tomorrow at what time? From what time?
The band will start at 8 and officially we will open the ceremony at 9.
Till late.
Till around 2 p.m. 1:30 there.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Bashid Abtuni Ajibor Wecha very clear la masngel jebonde sakwet nya bagari manigi nya masngel jemide chomadun gari manik am sakwet nya bo jigro use day Bashid Abtun amu akoko libio so jemnya je so magari manik to kulle akwane la mido uni akwa koko libio kjage sawet absan somogi arif sawedi anga akwa tubuga bai agogari manigi akwa goro mane singet le changa dakwek le gnenye migita sadai crypto dige ago winok che amida kwek abinde mazat jada taptanye binyi chinogne lego kindo lego chijoje ba gama tui galsi singet le kumwe chaje bijole what are some of the sexual reproductive health challenges adolescent girls and young women go through do we no ne karo manje mi de gbinde kari managi ago tibga bai amsin garo man we nokcho rupto gay ago ngalekcho namagay ago kari manyandit anga dakpek namagay ago kari manyandit. So you are welcome.
Thank you so much. As I said before, my name is Awaye Flavia, and today, this evening, specifically, I'm so delighted to share with you about some of the sexual reproductive health challenges that the adolescent girls and young women go through. And when we talk about the sexual reproductive health, we shall deal with issues related to sexuality, reproduction, and sexual health. And I'll specify on sexual health. When we talk about the sexual health, we find that most of the adolescent girls today, or even young women, are faced with lack of comprehensive sexual education. And as a result, this is leading to unintended pregnancies. We find that most of our young girls in the communities there are dropping out of school. Why? Because they're pregnant. And that is because the parents are not giving them the adequate information that they need in their school life. We also see that due to the lack of this education, there are high rates of abortion. And when we talk of abortion, we look at many risky things. Abortions cause devastating effects such as cervical tearing, because the adolescent is not yet old enough to give birth or to carry a baby in the womb. During birth, the cervix will have to tear. We also see that there is infertility and death. We all know that most of the young girls today, because they cannot bear with the pregnancy, because they cannot handle, they rush for abortions. And as a result, they bleed too much and end up dying in the process. So we need to give the young girls, the adolescents, the mothers, adequate information. We shall also see that there are high risks of UTIs, but yet they should be treated. Why? Because they can facilitate transmission of HIV, and this is really a threat to the youth. When we talk about the HIV and the STIs, many of the youth, the adolescents, are faced with sexual coercion. Some of them are raped, and who knows? You don't know who is raping you. Is he safe? He's not. Maybe one is having UTIs, one is having HIV, one is having gonorrhea, syphilis, candida, and all these are health risks to the adolescents. We shall also look at the mental health and well-being. As a result, the adolescents are stressed. They face depression. Why? Because they cannot think of a way to get out. They cannot put themselves together to see how should I deal with this. We also look at some of the exploitation and violence in the communities there. Find that the women outside there are faced with domestic violence. They are also faced with limited access to services such as family planning methods. When we look at the family planning methods, we deal with the natural, which include, we deal with some of the natural family planning methods and also artificial, whereby we use condoms. But we advise the adolescents, we advise the youth to always abstain, because that is the only best way they can keep at school, they can keep safe in the communities. They are also faced with lack of transportation to facilitate or to reach the services. Remember, when we talk about the sexual reproductive health, they offer the youth, the adolescents, very many services, of which include family planning, just like I said before. There are also poor infrastructures. When we look at the roads today, they're not all that good to transport the adolescents to the hospitals and to the hospitals. When we also talk about the menstrual health, the girls, the adolescents, they still don't know how to deal with the menstrual health. Why? Because while back there at home, or even at school. But I believe the schools are really playing a great part. Just like in Gamatu Girls, we have talk shows, and the girls are being told how to manage their menstrual health. And I'm really so privileged that the sexual health, reproductive health is playing a great part in educating the girls, the adolescents, on how to manage their menstrual health. I don't have much to say. This is what I have for you this evening. Thank you.
Let me again invite another student to proceed.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said before, this is Manjari Celestine, a student from Gamatui Girls, the head girl. I'm here to talk about the challenges that adolescent girls face in the society. This include gender inequalities. In the current Uganda, most men or parents think that boys are supposed to be taken to school. Girls are a disgrace to the society, and they cannot reach out their dreams, and boys can do. Other challenges that adolescent girls face are harmful cultural norms. Just like in Sabay, there is female genital mutilation. That is still in other deep rural areas in Kapchora, meaning Sabay. These practices can affect the girl child, the youth girl child, and they can cause them harm. Some of them can drop out of school. Some of them can commit suicide because they cannot bear the pain. And also early and forced marriages. Some parents force their girls, the young youth, to go for marriage because they want bride price, of which is not good for the youth today. A girl has to be taken to school, has to study and reach out her dreams such that they see what they can do in the nearby future. They should not be forced to go for marriage. And the gender-based violence, girls are violated. Most parents in our societies today, they don't guide their children when it comes to how they should, the youth, they do not guide the youth on how to live in the society. So some of them misuse their lives, and at the end of the day, they are blamed as a disgrace to the society. So the youth should be talked to, and we thank the reproductive health for putting out this program, the Alliance Week for the Youth, because most of them will build up confidence out of this Alliance Week, and they will try to fight for their rights, fight for their dreams, and reach their dreams safely. Gender inequalities are problems that oppress the youth, and Uganda should really fight against it. I don't have much to say. I would like to end there.
Mare amida zolum doi ka biza silangun nga legalak tiyaga marinla awegu singet le chibiji ndo tokulwan. So tasta ge dayo jimnyu.
My name is Natalia Tatui Chelengat, a visitor to Gamatui Girls, studying originally from Canada. I'm here to talk about the social effects young women face with sexual reproductive health. The first effect is neglect, and that can be happened with the parents and the community. For example, if a girl gets pregnant at the young early stages of their teenage years, they can get stereotyped for being irresponsible, even though it might not be their fault, and get kicked out of their community. Secondly, I would like to add to the education. Mostly schools will kick out the girls, even though it's not their fault. They would lose their future opportunities because they'll have to now take care of a child and lose their dream and goals. And this is what we talk about in talk shows in Gamatui Girls, to really focus on their education, really focus on their responsibility and be self-driven, so that we can get the dreams and goals that we are seeing ourselves to be in the future. And then after that, think about the family and what you will do to raise Kapchorwa. Thirdly, I would like to speak about trauma. Trauma could include moving forward with all the neglect that you've had from your close ones, and you might not be able to speak about it freely with other people and just bottle up all your feelings and make yourself feel so bad about something that you couldn't even control. And yes, that's all I would like to say. Okay, Tabon?
Okay. Asanteni sana. You are so brief. Thank you so much. Now, angatle kangalale lego ngale kichanga biza masngetle che gotwa kwek le dut bismak ngale tijo ya maganam marja sngetle alimda kwek bangale kichanga biza. Now, angatle masngetle jino gneat administracy anyabo gamatui ngo snget jala gumwaitle how are schools supporting the young girls and young people at large to make informed decisions regarding their sexuality. Ndo kare manding kuyat sugulunak yela ne sugulunak singetle tena ngalek jo pagare manyandit. So madam, you're welcome.
Thank you very much once again. Nambi Rosemary Runkuma, head teacher, Gamatui Girls, the Green School. So I'm here to talk about what schools are doing to support young girls and people at large to make informed decisions regarding their sexuality. Sexuality refers to a person's emotional, romantic, or sexual attraction to others. So, how are we helping the girls to make informed decisions? One of the things we consider at school is, one, we engage these girls into prayer, into understanding God. We always tell them their bodies are God's temple. And if their bodies are God's temple, they are not expected to misuse their bodies. If they understand that, every time they are faced with temptation, they will have to move away from that temptation, because God is with them, God is guiding them, God is their first-hand protector. Another thing we are doing in schools is, especially in Gamatui, we are doing a lot of talk shows. Every Sunday at 10 to noon, we are having a talk show being given by different people, dwelling on different topics for the girl child, about the youth, being in school, pregnancies, STIs, abortions, name it. We talk about the dangers. When you get pregnant, what next? Your future is shattered most times. If the parents are not very understanding, you may never get back into school. So we try our level best to show them that education is the way. We tell them everything during the sensitization. Everything has its time. There is a time for everything. Even in the Bible, they talk about a time to pray, a time to work, name it. Now, when you're still young, as a youth, you are expected to mind the timing. You're not yet in the working class, and surely, possibly it is going to be very hard for you to look after that baby. Sometimes during the talk shows, the girls come out and they give examples of the girls in the villages where they come from. They talk about how they are suffering, the pain they are going through. When you're still young, there are certain decisions that may be hard for you to make. If you got pregnant and moved away from home, it may be very hard for you to go back home. So you have to suffer the pain. Different girls give different examples of people suffering in the villages. On top of that, the girls give us drama shows. You just give them a topic, they sit down, work very fast, and there we are. We have a show. Of course, the show is showing the consequences of relationships while you're still at school. And many times we see the pain. They act so well that you will be able, the learners are able to understand that it is not good for someone to waste their life when it is not yet time for them to have relationships. When we talk about the dangers, we talk about the diseases. On Tuesday 19th, the daughters are receiving doctors from Kapchora. They're going to talk to them about abortion. They're going to show them talk about the different diseases, leave alone AIDS. Many of them know so much about AIDS that they do not know much about gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes, but all these are sexually transmitted diseases. And when a child gets these diseases, psychologically they are tortured, they cannot settle very well in class, they'll keep on being disturbed. And remember, psychologically, they don't want to go to the nurses because at that particular moment, they feel ashamed that possibly the nurse is going to know that this is what I did. So some of them keep it to themselves and they end up having grave consequences. By the time they get medical treatment, I think the disease has escalated. Another thing the schools are doing to support the girls to make informed decisions is to educate them on sex education. Obviously, the first thing we talk about is abstaining. The girls must abstain. No sex before marriage. We talk about that and we insist. Abstain and all will be well. Well, when you look at these small ones, the S ones, some of them need to understand something about puberty. You'll talk about it because some of them have not yet started menstruating. They need to know, how are they going to handle themselves? How about the hygiene? What are they supposed to do? How about when you have your menstruation? Let them understand ovulation. When there is ovulation, automatically, if the girls indulge themselves into sex, the next thing is pregnancy. It is very painful to have a young girl being sent away from school because of pregnancy. We talk about the contraceptions. At their age, sincerely, they are not supposed to use contraceptions, whatsoever the case may be. They are affecting their bodies. They are still too young. A time will come when they will need to have babies and possibly they cannot because they used contraceptives at a very early stage and right now it has affected them. That is why ours is abstain. The girls are advised to set boundaries. They are supposed to have their esteem high. It is normal for the boys to tell them they are beautiful. But when someone tells them they are beautiful, dear girls, what are we supposed to tell them?
Thank you.
Thank you, and walk away. You don't stand there to wait. I don't know, to wait for what? We are trying to push them into that. It is normal. They have to tell them they are beautiful. But on top of that, we encourage them to mind their dressing. We encourage them to mind who they associate with. They are supposed to be assertive. When they are communicating, they are supposed to be honest. Honest to us, the teachers, honest to their parents. When they tell their parents, mommy or daddy, I have a party I'm going to, they must be very sincere. What time is the party ending? Where is the party? Who is organizing the party? Dear parents, we are telling our girls, when they go to attend these parties, many times they are drugged. And when they are drugged, they are sexually abused. So, as parents, we encourage you, as we do the talking at school, please do the talking at home. Don't just release the girls to go out partying. At the age when a child is not yet independent, I think it is important for you as a parent to give guidance when it comes to moving out and going for parties. Why should a girl child come back home at night? That is not right. We need to have specific time when the girls are supposed to be in the house. And as parents, we expect you, as we do it at school, to keep on checking on them. Sometimes they sneak out and you're not in the know that they surely moved out. Let them, this new curriculum encourages the learners to have critical thinking. Now, when we talk about critical thinking, it means you must know the consequences of whatever you are doing. So if you decide to begin an affair, I always tell the girls, there is no way we are going to do academics when we are having boyfriends. They are going to disorganize us. It means the girls are going to come to school with phones. They cannot sit down to read their books when they are having these phones. Reason being, for example, as we are having remedial lessons at night, somebody may be tempted to sneak out to go and talk to that other person who is disorganizing them. That other person is not in school, but is wasting their life. So they should critically think. We are teaching them that critical thinking is very important in the decisions that they are making. The girls need to be empowered while they are at home. As we empower them at school, let them be able to air out their view. Let them be able to discuss with the leaders in the community. Possibly there are issues in the community that are disturbing them, and these issues may lead them to make uninformed decisions. Sometimes possibly they are going to collect water and there are boys at the well who are disturbing them. Let them be given a chance to air out their views. Dear parents, I'm telling my daughters, can we avoid unnecessary movement in the holiday? And I don't mind is a devil's workshop. The daughters always receive holiday work. Dear parent, may you please help us to supervise the girls do the work. When they wake up in the morning, they are encouraged to do housework. They are encouraged to go to the garden. And after doing that, let them sit down and read. Mind what the girls are watching on TV, dear parents. Mind what the girls are using their phones for. I always tell them, possibly they are watching pornography. That is why many times in our homes we have incest. Now, if a child watches pornography, there is a cousin at home, there is an uncle at home, they are the same age, automatically what comes out is these uninformed decisions. They'll begin feeling romantic, and the end result is going to be sad news. Let us encourage the girls to keep their virginity. Culturally, the girls were always encouraged to get married when they are virgins. What are we having now? It doesn't matter. I believe that we need to sit down in the evening the way the elderly used to do it. We sit down We give the girls folk stories. We talk about that moral of being a virgin, so that this child really values it, that day when I'm going to get married and my husband has come home to pick me up officially, I should give my parents the best gift and the best respect. It will mean in the eyes of my husband that my parents have been able to bring me up very well. Recently we had visitors from SHR, and while I was talking to the girls, I told them, do you see them? They have completed their education, they are working class, some of them are still in school, but do you see the happiness that they are having? Why should you drop out of school? Dear parents, may we give chance to our children to be open to us. These children have issues. That is why sometimes they make these funny decisions. Sometimes we send children to school, and sincerely, even if you do not have as a parent, I think it is important. Today, if you just have, for example, a kilo of sugar, go back and work. When you get another kilo of sugar, please come and check on the girl. These girls sometimes are sent to school and they lack requirements, not a luxury. You send a girl to school and you've given her a piece of soap, not washing soap, but a piece of washing soap. What do you expect this girl to do? Automatically, she's going to resort to having sex in order for somebody to give her money. But as a parent, do you really care to give this child the basic requirements? I'm not saying we should be extravagant, but let us mind and look at what these girls need. A girl who does not have pads, she really hates being in school. But I always tell them when we are at school, if you get a challenge, come and talk to me. I'll devise means and I help you out. Let these girls be free with you. Get interested in understanding their friends. If somebody has a boy who is a friend, get interested to find out what business do they share. What is making them have this relationship? Because we are in a world where we have boys and girls. Surely they have friends. But make sure that the relationship that they have is going to help them to grow, is going to help them achieve their dreams. We tell the girls, when you're having a health problem, please visit a healthy center. Don't keep it to yourself. Sometimes we invite parents at school, and the reason why we are inviting them, the daughter has a challenge. She needs to go to visit a reproductive health center, but possibly she fears you. But when you come to school, for us, we are able to talk to you and you will be able to take her there. We encourage the girls to follow the school rules and regulations to the dot. All that is support, because in our rules, it is crystal clear. You come to school pregnant, you have to go back home. You carry out an abortion, you forego the place. So it is very important that as parents, we take very good care as we talk to our girls in school. Let us also talk to the girls at school. I remain Serunkuma Nambi Rosemary, head teacher, Gamatui Girls. We still need the girls in all classes, apart from senior 4 right now and S6. But for the rest of the classes, please give us the girls. We shall take very good care of them and you will not regret. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you so much. You mostly talked of a girl child, but man, you left the boys aside there. Thank you so much, Madam Headmistress, for that. And then now, a quick big up ka kalma kwek ngalek che kache mwech now angat le mindarasti nagalak che jiri bajek to bigap sabini kripto dige garomani ago ngalek che bondo di gna magay ago karimanigi ago tibgabai mindarasti nagalak che miyotichi che winele ka kweyim tewe jeptabai ago karimanigi kripto dige yejbo amo mungishit nyingma wo karimanik so mano gonaniat bisma golote kugonej pane kuboroito ngalek tijonden after that tale anamaniat akwe bigap koredi angije ngalal dogol wanagi angije wikwechati kripto dige lo midegwe to ngalek so marionde lote
Victor mabor garom le chukuran le Lota Isaac ani kinyan andojin ni kariman kam reproductive health Uganda lo jingata la jigura ke jagala family planning magasta garom biga je kamingolole gomata saga bor la kaita bon chaita bon amu kadro gishet ni jagonech je kwa community ma moj biga ga be yola jaita bon amoje bo tumbo boy la jaita bon jo nganga ta kaplil ko agomba ta garas chabor weche mishet angama je mole ga mingal la jeta sageta jibor so ma bor rokle SRHR Alliance le ga yo matet nyebo organization do liondo kina maga je rock kini ngale ga liliet kumide RHR that is reproductive health kumide straight talk langat poi kumide rike ago organizations la kibondo tikamwan ma bor rokorom le amne migindo tini gari man program indile amnyaje karom njeji wo affected do lo tokkinige winno karom la gari man gambande gna maga ko ngale kiji nyorto media do je sharing na karom go mite otole maje mo la gaje ngala je ngale ki jongosh mu hospitali na kijim de jiru to jini nyabata te maje ngala le ngale ga portab chirewon je gura kwakla porta nyole lamnye tatomba je nyoru ketik che nyoru bangale kyomoje ku nate ne sabonda je tastoge taje mungishi che ngala lemba porta lamek choto kije ga mo lokasu gulu le mite syphilis biga nore jote jigura lag sununu brasta ago alak chojin ka togolle chiutege ama boro karom le changi ngale kije bundaje ku gari man ka jimda none jingolo le chepta bai bat mangman bala gari man la binde ngale che magarege maje mole am community bani ndam sam mukwelo je ponele agje subjecting gari man panen ktogla jekto je makitore win nok togol je bunda mo koston kana magat ka je mo bala ka je mo la je ka batishet ine la gari mede ta gatenye go gi chut mo go nget karom be je bokshi ban mi la ki ma beti sukul mi gna maga go bokshet kine jonde ne bundo sawet maruto jini sipitala ka stein balo ka sukul je ka ngala le ka infrastructure karom la infrastructure nyola la side nyo baret yo ka jaga saro shok kyo jibeti la gi chemu to shayang bala ki jimde jibeti o je ngalo libi ko ndo ji worshi bi ko ga mo go yekwa kina maga go ne tililiet yo ge bunda ret nyo to kini ga be yo ge bishbe ko bagi sile nyor la mak ku ku stak mo do mak ku ngod ne bi ko aran je mi ko kwani mak ku muy to bi che mo aje so ma asmeti nyo bo capture local government le ki ga let ki sata ro shok kyo linking and community ndo bi ga goret ko lo mi sibitali na kwa atasaga bor yen balem e ga jangala le cultural norms le makke ginye wi got e ga jek pa jek society ngi jangala le sexual reproductive health rights karege nyi ginye lel got ngi jingata jeng balal ko kya jeng gitle ngat am ye jaga se ga tebe gen jepta ba nyo bonda ngwa kan 15 mi ko yoktos ne je mi ngat nyi la ngat ne do kae ma jek ta boy che do gishe angi je jach che nyoru nyi ko la positive parenthood chinet logo kyajek kina magago porwon kwa singet jo mijek tombo guba shotote langetle the first friend nya nyoru ko baba ndakweyo singet yale yomde shemale engaging ndo shemala ngaloli makyo dokto samlo mitin lekpet la yam daga go nyila anda ga bande ngale kebare le waga roman ba le yu Yeah.
All right. Maamokle, sorry for that interruption. Angatle tajebo nagay kambrin nintinye bo sehad ango chemi de jengalo linimsin gari managi ago ndo jeguro la naranek crypto digay ago winok chemi de jektag binde amo sang ulelo ndo amaga ulelo ma yuendiat ndo masngela je tastage ago lotse logagabndo ji then after that lago namwit panga bizmage angaje nambanga code so tastage ojinyo
Kaitawan ma jerenge karoman gina maga go power and chikasa je ngalek tijimba je sakkine jam ngalek alakchi na maga go tililiet kagamda boro ito ni bi kota bi metle je bonde am communities chijo piko je garasto ni karoman lage working ngalek tililiet angu jota le VHT so ku bi tek to lage je training and so ga je kwa side ni yola maje ngole lewo kama chila je garasto je korom namnye response ni mamba laga ma effective amnye gatokle je bona ngale che maji roki community na magadi liliet le kamagu gonu banda ni VHT stage ngo jam ko masogi ki garege mamola ko masogi ki magarege meaning le ndo mamola lo jone ni as VHT ngi shile maji casting amnye maji garege na getokol angama bachalat korom le mi e community nya kaga je profession mamu jamola anu kakpate che manelo siwan la kattage sabata yem nyorin biga makwane sabata and this is a leader that is supposed to embrace issues of health and he sent us away and the team was annoyed and we say it's indeed bad and gilotala mamola tagares anguma je som garom le kandu shenye batagares la shema roki kandu iko ela si wonni moje mwa kwekla nyiginya ka patti munya je ko mogale akatage sabata wa shemne ko pabi gongut yemnyana tila joni maje mola we je konda je services ye magarege je muje potu sanagala ka hospital amnye misanala mamigati yoga je kwanda je program nye undinye je kwanje je te shibane swamet agmi odala ga je mda je ngolo le karo mingina magago culture nya yanda rasina kyaje ngalek che gienji le ga je tabai ye ga mi gwede ngal libre yugunya kwan ngat ni ngale ke bunde gamet malole kweta mlo mine gamet cheptabai shamba ne ga togla ga bunde boshok kyo mi bunde boshok ndo jegure kwagala mi gweti le kwet arawet por jegure le mi gweti chamo am gsabinyo jingat pane la arawet shem le kitele kwet ange olimbane igu flexible am ngat nyala wet gamet when they are going to school make sure like only sanitary pads enough jonga la mujik flowing for the whole week for the whole term sorry if you're not that parent and you're not trying to make sure like you need the necessary items for the whole term, then it means the first thing to mention and is to make sure that approaching other boyfriends of which they provide for exchange of sex, and that is now one thing that is becoming a challenge. Gitanya de migito ngonye kyakngat yakaje kwa community we are jemda je shemanda la jibune na information de jemda je shemala jibayo ajibiyonge ngana maganga le kijebunde ange shem nyibunde mwanile a girl child is doing it wrong when you're not providing. Please parents, let us be one as partners. We are all stakeholders to all the things, and if we leave school daga choshi sukulu ngale to kolku handling school can be overwhelmed mogo t-shirt kogo mogo mujamba ogana malak magon reference le many schools right now am yegi quick so a policy le if a girl child gets pregnant they are still retained at school, but it's now going to be like a culture. Each time now we go for holidays, someone comes back with a big belly. Is that really one thing that we should embrace as parents? Please let us talk to our children. Even the boy child, mamole mandage ishe swamet nyobonde ndo ngomine nyobonde nyorogari wetuk tajeptage tebege nybanela ndagaji akwomet. If that could be your sister, how could you feel? Some of us feel very bad when I see a guy lamiga approaching and my sister, I would like just violence all the time. So what about if it is you going to someone's daughter? So in kind, if you're doing certain things to someone's daughter, also think ndagaje pomninyo jimchichini joto. Majo ilo mi boy kamwojile chukwa genge. To have a best community or a better community is when we come together and also visit our children or our students. Let us not leave them there. Each time they try calling you, mamigari, mchojni, mamigari, mchojni, they will smuggle phones to school and they will call their boyfriends and their boyfriends sell items through the fence. And what will be the first thing when they go out of school? Of course, to go and pay back. So what do you think will be the next thing? At times we may crucify the girls and a boy truly doesn't get pregnant. But what is that one thing that you should do for the girl child? Someone may say, we were dwelling on the girl child here when the headmistress was talking about it. But we talk about the vulnerability the girl child has. A boy child can walk till late at night, even midnight. Who rapes you? No. If it's a girl child, they can be raped. So in kind, kajesoma bala ndaga postbo. Cheshamba neje rogu ngijaga sala, what are the needs? Ndanet jonya majijep tabai. If you are one parent that sends your girl child to the market at 8 at night, yok tonjep tanyangigu tinga ndago market wakwal sukuman go feeling any niggle ne okatok la goje majamaran. Most parents, because of the new curriculum, you have both phones and mostly fancy ones. You don't know what they are accessing because of the word research. The two nyogoektos, there will be a point you can't control her because the type of information she has got at that time could be too much for you to handle. Maget chamba swami ngengolol nan kwa kesok beyo no nyama kalega gurle jesok beyo ganyuru ngaragata ka ngatla mila kwanyi sugulu chawali si mood nyewo new curriculum la major research kala you do much of the research, the teacher does little. Then now when you look at the status of that young girl, because most of them are on WhatsApp and we also have others who also we share contacts with, because when you go to school they share with us contacts, you may see them being in fancy areas because the mother mabonda gamet simut ponda kapriti sonda itel nyogisi they will not access or they will not know what the daughter is doing. Angoma so mak poi gagoka koromen ba mama ajonyan sa nyewaru mandaka tuch lagok pok yoga jengong lamigi urtoy. Please don't protect your kid when they are saying she is doing a wrong thing. Please approach them, do your own investigations and rebuke whatever they are doing. If we don't do that, it is a bad word. So in kind mangmole chigos tokorom biga gota sabinyogo sabo tokol majia kwani, we shall be having school programs. Angija so magla if we have a drive nyamaje moroji galele go kyoja kwaji embracing andogol singetala jagasla jemde community nye better. Mangmogle, we appreciate schools that always welcome our programs and we shall always be with us. And we embrace it. Magic Astes, Gamma Tui Girls for always welcoming us, Sabay College Tigres, Capture Senior Secondary School, Elgon Emirates, Capture Parents, and the rest that I haven't mentioned, Binyinya says, and also others. Please, if we still continue coming, please welcome us, and we shall share a lot with our students. Thank you very much. The administrations I've mentioned and others that we shall be approaching, please welcome us with both arms. We shall be there to share with the students. Thank you. Mother Mani Bismarck, Yam Deutsch.
Okay, kay tabon borong ni lotte magasta chaga togol yo jebonda ke togol ditio agasta mbaba members jebo Elgon Radio le kay tabon goromon ka go nek paro ende nyundni jem dege so magasta member members jo kangala ngale kichiyodin ga jem ngolle alliance week ka jengala ngale kichiyodin dene karoman jemi ama programs jogu jemi je shemale jakas la ka jinerle serganak ndoyo karmanak ndo tu baga bay jem jinna jineril ne je yeni ngom nyene temba boy agomba mama to kolle aranyun yemalo ko pur ne le gokyo ayege pende ko in to kolle ki jemi to tajek jemito ti kama sogi kechuyotin jemito je rutojini health centers ndenamo health centers mi ngale kechuyotin bon baba pombayo pamkolego nyorula mi kanyo shet kitesatai ndege bunde ole jemito je ngalol nitu pakabai ndege bunde saityo ele mi embakar manak mi ko ngolol weke embakar manak ketebene tebutok le aranyun e katok kibere e kay ngal jibere ne je toku kumbaje je ngom nyenit je ke kalambe je so ang maule ngalega alliance week kije kajitep ko boy tun dene amtun je mi je shemale je kasle kaje porugel ne wanak je amde gela tukunne soronutenne nyipunde soroganak ndo use singet ka kasla kaji kala je ne de nyi baba ishengi kene singe je kasla kaji ner to pagapai de nyi mama ishengi kene singe je kasla jem to kol wanak je kasle kaje rob tabon kumaje bonda le ko je katai sukulu kumaje bonda le yo malumangale je bonda le ko kyo ngat timbo kerupto tiga ko teliliet le ye mala je rip ne teliliet be ga me muji nyaige ye mala ilne page bonda ngalol le baba page bonda ngalol le agatta ge le karoman ka jangala le la sexuality am sexuality karoman la tekini le am nyingat purinyil ne am nyingat sitagenyil ne teliliet ngonyo loge lak tagenyi nyo ngorogune le pet karoman yoge lokki ke sakatit nyo tapon joda je me to ban niem ba matun enyi mama nyo ga yue garmandet ni ndo baba nyo ga yue ke to ke rok te garmandet parit ko sut jaba ngun ngem ngonyel o mara garmande nyo joje me kes niem ba matun so kasle am karoman e ke pende je kasle jiner use iponda to kol ishet newo ka jangala le saba ka jangala le je paga amaka karoman mang maule le jeje kanedi shit newo karoman nyorule socialization jingmela socialization jeje msanga jemale onar lekpet may ji porchin le memala ji burle yomi gnar lekpet kunga to tinga legalak yemala ji porchile jeme je bende yomi kunga tani yomi gnar lekpet yememba paren kunga tle male jibur je punde lekpet ngale kebere ammo kale am parents karoman nyorula ke josh lego musina ko josh sukulu lego kana meo e gibende parents je janga roman ki mami je ki mabonda gemba lego pandene ko benda sukulu le maje speed la war wayle ko dene ponda nyemba ishet nyemala wulle ni aspaba ni asayo emala akasle aputi burto ile ko ngun singe jekas amni jimta jekas la ne tingene le ko karoman jekas la ko burle ko kwabi amu communities e gibende karoman mi le ko akasak pek pana le mi nerto le ko nertos le ko amu ci swet ni tapon dapende ta kala wayne ka pot nyoru le ko karoman ne gibende kasarany e ka jang mala ga matanga nyoru le ko ketum ke jang tebe kala mare kikpi mara jipoi ka kori kwando jeso ka kori kwa amnye mi ka gondoji kamamba jambara jalam karmanak e ka jangalo le karmak tapon e ke punda ngalek ke gitok pananya karman le kipit ke tiktok jingalo lok pa banget mami ko kollek jingalo le jeji papi ko jiel ne jingala le ngalek ke mami ko kollek anjim te ka saka roman le nambe ne o ka roman ne bo suruganak ndo karmanak ke jemi jak suguni mi whatsapp kasle jemi te je shemala je kas akasak pek le ka je porum basugulu gamotui mi gamotui je bonda je kembo le ka sugulu jo jemi te je ngele aranyon ngale kep ngale gongoju jaga sak pele tabone bayo mi ta pe sugulu nem san je mele je tikke gasta bi go tokol e ke bundale amo ki ndinya ko jem je ngele alliance week pri ele jemi te tunji je jome ba shet pade ka je mak pele ki pa luko shek ke chuyotin aga ko mi ko sotiam arechu ko pallu ge shoke chuyotin ko pawana ko yo mangom nyenon le aranyun am sabin ndeg ma jang mala je yegi mbale ndeg ma jang mala je yono je sot ku jagap chorwa je mi je mela mare je ti ko loyil ne garmanak ji ko loyil ne boy ji pato gol wanak je mdege no nyale aranyun es je rip mbat te ka bay mareñ ko rom ni ela sinya kala ka pategaras to mbangala ka tegaras apa ndogolo le nye kai keong dani majangololi pigo jekas laga papigo e ka je bendangale ke ka mi kita sata hospital pri ka je mi le jem ji wirto lego pri ka je mi le jemi ndeka majeset kiambo ullage ndeka majeset baspi ndeka majeset ba ullage ka je nyor le pika ta garas je mala ku nyor ngom nyenet ne bare singet yalla yo mi gina rambale akpa ngalek choto che toguno yo we ondonyi biko mabale pare loge mala ka papi ko kunyor kanyoshit ni tabon we ondonyi rakanak joge mala ka pa koyo mage che ngalol je crypto ti ka ko dilit la genertos ne ci bural ne ndam jek ponde be jek te butok ang mo jam babale saya ta kala ma jem ba je yele ko adopto ko ngolol wi yele ko adopto be ga mi ngale kala kum moy le ne ga roman je mala je sat e ga mi ngale kala ne ga roman ni me jek pon dinde wana jem take ang mo le a ga roman embam sabin mi kama sogi kala ndo community sala ke ponde behaviors je mata bon yo nar lepet ka sengale to yo mi go wo itu lepet mi ka sale ngale ke ber ji jimte asom a biko religious leaders tokol ago cultural leaders ago ambo opinion leaders jo community je kasle ka je tikki ngale jong jingal la magu kalle jo gen ner ko rep be yim tang mele am ta onye akasa kap sa kita ka nyemi embo go ko korot jo ngale kala ki chang am sapin ai ji mitale non functionality of the cultural institution kasala mi ka karat joimbo a non functionality nyaba cultural institution ngale ke jangat amnye mitu ku kyok ji dep ku moy bi ga cultural institution le mi ngale ke mu ji mo am culture ngami je mu ma ji dep je kasla ka ji net pa ka bay ka ji net kar manak ngale ko jogo ba senga jogo ba akpe jo ji net te pa ka bay le mala ji pur lam korik jo ji net le ko le mala wongi sugulo de ki joni ni ku chasta won shi dap tibik ku ji akponde gele ku ji gere won shi dap tibik kuji kere ni sakun ke je bondo ti we ne le kasman lek petta bon yo kete wona jemngu kasman lek petta bon da bondo go in le choko parting ka pi wedding ka pi graduation kas la ke ngor ji parting ya ga roman jemngu yemba kuja alternative rights of passage jemi da ji o moy ngom nyano ke kas le chiel ne je kas la ka je challenge ngan ngale kala kyomi society jomi ki te karmanak jomi ki te ka bay jomi poru boy kwanak jomi poru ba mawanak jomi poru cultural institution wanak ago religious institution je kas la jem da gel ne singet je kas la ka ji wan ngale kyomi ku shema la ga go pot karmanak jem de shema la ges ko nyor ka sa to yek je ka te am mo je cha ka to le ku jemi da je am mo cha ka to tun am alliance week ku jemi da je a health centers kama swagi ke chuyotin ke jemita poti health center jemita nganga da health center jemita bakaplel go health center jemita ga beywa jemita da garas jemita je shemale yo mi nyoru bi ga services jem je ngalol nalak yo mi ku nyoru ji je bare mi ko ngalo mi ku de balak te butok ang as agasta bi ga to gol jogu ko ga tarot program ga romani ngam ngok la masu binda tomorrow je shem la jakpa mas je bondam ba matching tim to gol je matching na je mi ji torore ba shet la mare kwai tabon amangale kemide so murtu si choto ma gastanik piko je bonda ke gagati microphone to the moderator ai tabon gorom
right ke tabon gorom no this mas now angat le kal makwek pick up korit ngale ke jangorom ni che ke jemde ge crypto dige ago alliance week aje mwech ngaleke changrom ni agajage je chijo paga bolokap suguru paga mbedi mistress ago bigalak togoli crypto digele jiribala ne naranagi ndo winoi neje migibinde naranagi angum maje chigla ne kaje ngala lejbo ngale galak chomyo dicho tasadai amga ulelo majiba dumdaga gidogo ndaje wekele masngetle je nam calls ndene nambet le brunambet nebo 0773 42 19 0773 19 ndagebr airtel am 070 584860 namba nkyoje mujebre yo masngela je weke am dumdaga gidogo nyama je wejege
A story about a little girl, Maria. She's a beautiful girl, wonderful girl. On top of it all, stubborn girl. Maria, waga mama yi. Wapar mama ni sukulu waru sukulu. It was a boarding school. Sir Maria ka boy mata musukulu. Ndeyok barjete pengale jatakal. Sir na sukulu. Katakele mi mama ni oji mabondangal. Kibonda Maria chorondo ndene tubujaje. Kibodle kwana wajaj Maria kwa rupi go kota mama ni. Kwa rupi go komoy kile kapulende ne kase korgeta mama ni. Nene mangoje ni Maria le yongengaleja. Yeru mamanga Maria ndene Maria lembe sote cho. Ngoji ni Maria mama ni la mama ripke. Mucha bring getting gogoting amanye mabira Maria mama nja Maria gegisi porta gitu kusingale kimakwila ne poyo. Iko pure jito nyinte shet nyenye komuche ne Maria. Le kwanin Maria we.
All right, thank you so much. Number 0773 for the 219. Alternatively, mujes luan babalakieta manambe tij banyidinyo angu masngetle asmanungani yejbo balakyan dinyo. Now mas tiada daptanyi binyi anogne no gani big up koreti angje ngalal tokol amwane kule. Elgon. Hello.
Kaita kon programa.
Romane.
Parang
network gen gin better network je ngalal da bangela nenyi.
I'm saying we don't try the project kaya muje kiti research kiti yordan esengele kiti project dinanya kapchora kiti research kiti yordan but maybe makia any other place why kapchora kiti yordan research nenye kiti yor amle mpiko.
Hey Tabone.
And why capture? Hello.
The research report la mane capture wale kichie ngale tuju. Kuma chie ngale juliage amne capture kubalis karoman. Thank you so much for that. Elgon.
No. Sita ngale.
Naktelo mire date kidogo.
Kaita one program. Kami dijaja kada karas kami kasta kasa program lega kuicha. Wala kai kawan kasti.
Yugo ngoyat ngodu ngoy.
Wala sa ito apurni de keres. De keres lawa.
Thank you so much. Elgon.
Hello.
Jabon. Jalan we.
Ada soy señor.
Ga kwala singa. Ke network ngunge tupua.
Lele. Tiga jor bomondo ngat. Tiga lele.
Yala na ywe ketige bane. Okay, thank you so much. Good.
Hello?
Jabon da romne. Jabon nelo. Jabon romne. Thank you for appreciating the program. Asante ni sana. Now, someone here has written the message. Kamola, yes, Victor Mwenena. This is Levi from Kablergo. We are getting you loud and clear. Thank you so much. Your talk show is so nice to our girls and families as well. Unlike some radio talk shows which can mislead. Okay, thank you. Hello. Zabona ngonya we.
Dengan ala ko boy ang gamasta gdo ya.
May nagdo yo boy.
Jemi to question nyo ba prestem sa nyo ba sa pa on the vision.
Okay, jibat ngalik cho jem da jang alole.
Okay, Victor mamo na ding mamo gin na ma. Check sa do ri le. Mamo gin election no vision water man. minute among le among the door go police mare.
Okay. Mandar ngal dia politics alum doi program jem da je ngalo le win no ke mi gbinde young people mamda nang mola ge balis ngo amle bere okay someone saying here hello team, did you include the young people in acting dramas? Okay, that is Mama Rose. Thank you so much, Mama Rose. And then someone saying here, hello Victor and the team, thank you so much. Is the program only for Kapchorwa or it's also for Queen? Because the use are everywhere. Okay, fine. Last message here. Thank you so much. Okay, hello, thank you for the program. This is Sharon from Khartoum. I welcome all the students of Khartoum Secondary School to the show. All right, thank you so much. Lastly, someone saying hello, Victor and the team. Thank you so much for the show. Which message do you give to our parents? Okay, which message do you give to our parents? After we have now stopped FGM, they have now resorted to early marriages, whereby they push us into. Okay? Kodok chala go kumami de go chastana nine won sidap tibigi uje torta dibik and then singet chengala le ambo okay ku peat ngale jo tonga na biki be biashara amle mi bigala. Otherwise don't touch your dial. Time is up. Amnya jebonda another program ango masngetle chibe in another version jewe kwite budok tijo amla kwa
beautiful girl, wonderful girl, on top of it all stubborn girl, isun kangete kama Maria ngwaga mamani wakwar mamani sukulu waru sukulu. It was a boarding school. Sir Maria boy madam sukulu ndeyok barjete bengale jatagal sir na sukulu katakele mi mamani oji mabondangal jibonda Maria jorondo ngene tubujaje keyboard le bwana wajan Maria gwaru bigo kota mamani gwaru bigo komoy kile kabulande ne kase korgeta mamani nene mamojeni Maria le yongangale cha Yeru mamanga Maria ndene Maria lembe sote cho Wojini Maria mamani la mama ripke Mucha berinji ngatingo gutinga manye Mabira Maria mamanja Maria gigisi porta kutukusi ngaleki makwila nepoyo Iko pureji tonyin teshet nyenyi Komuchene Maria Lile kwanin Maria we Lile kwanin Maria we Bejimu tabia nyongola mama choche sabinya la mejuti Lile kwanin Maria we Yuboyo jirwo cham sangari nyet mama nyi wakbarwanda Maria Ako boy kalak tugu sila jisetile kwanin ngalega ngobu tabon Kimbaja mama nyi ngalega seman lakwada de kwa Dene kiwoki kan Maria koche torchuang Amugangwa But I sympathize with the people job kuje idabota Maria nyoki.
Alright, Sky Tabon Garomani, Angatle, young people you are getting as very well. Mazda taptanyi vinyi no neba gengale. Amane rizaj report kabela nenye kuje ken got jedo kabza la kapchora le masngela chiengale jo. Amane kapchora so you welcome. Proceed.
Thank you for the question. So when we were picking Kapchora, we have a project in Kapchora that we work with our partners on called the Right Here Right Now program, and it is a program for young people, led by young people and for the young people through and through. And this program is majorly to allow young people access SRHR information services, but also for them to have information and be empowered enough to speak up for themselves. And with the Right Here Right Now program, we have partners here like the Reproductive Health Uganda and SEHAD, which is Center for Human Rights and Development, which implement the program here, the Right Here Right Now program here in Kapchora. And some of the feedback that we've been getting from them is how a lot of adolescent girls and young women are facing teen pregnancy, they are facing child marriages, there's a lot of gender-based violence to the women and even some men as well, which is something that most people do not believe, but yes, men as well do face gender-based violence. There's been a lot of cases of girls dropping out of school, and yet the boys that have impregnated them stay in those schools. So when we have such statistics coming up, when we hear that girls are dropping out of school because they do not have menstrual health management information, they do not have menstrual products, they do not have pads, they can't even access the long-term pads or pads that you can use for a long time, which are the reusable pads, the ones you wash and hang, which you can also make by yourself. But because they do not have the information on how to even make these pads, they are resorting to just dropping out or resorting to the cultural ways of just sitting and free bleeding until you're done and then you're back to school, and you're missing out a lot of things during this time. But also the young people in Kapchora lack a lot of information, basic information when it comes to their sexual reproductive health. So they are making a lot of uninformed decisions when it comes to how they navigate their reproductive health. They are having unprotected sex, they're having sex at an early age, so they're having their sex debut is very early, which shouldn't be the case. In the time that they should be at school, they're instead indulging in risky behaviors. They are taking alcohol, they're doing drugs, they are having unprotected sex, they are indulging in sex work. And much as we're having all of these challenges with the economic, of course, because some people do it because they need to get money, but in all of this, they are resorting into risky behaviors, and they are getting HIV, they're contracting STDs that they do not even know how to treat. Adolescent girls and young women are having UTIs that they think are STDs, and all of these factors combined led us to coming to Kapchora so that we conduct the Alliance Week here.
All right, thank you so much. Our time is up. My student, just 1 minute.
Thanks so much. My message to the parents is that parents should prioritize education, because the girls have the right to education. Not just that, the girls are not as vulnerable as you might think. They have the potential to achieve greater dreams, just like the boys do. They can be the presidents of different countries. They can be the prime ministers. Talk of any greater dream to say. So why should you force them to early marriages? And remember, they have a right to fight for their own rights. And this is really recommended by the law. The girls can take action. They can end up suing you. Why? Because if they take this crisis to the law, then how will you as a parent really feel? Not just that. Remember, the girls, when they're forced for early marriages, they end up getting pregnant. And as a young girl down there, one doesn't know how to take care of the baby. So why do you want to bring this psychological torture to your own kid, to your own daughter? I personally, as a student from Gamati Girls Secondary School, urge all the parents to prioritize girl child education, because it's the base, and through it we can promote development all over the country.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Zanteni sana. Jalangat.
Yatu Paraji Wangde. Oh, okay. Yatu Paraji Wangde, Mamwala Lago Yok Tujuga Romachle, Kijiko Switch SRHR Alliance Uganda, Gima Tosham Wala SRHR Alliance Uganda Le, Ki organization Yenema, Yomoy organizations, 8 Yogoshok. Yomo Yogoshok Manana Agwa project Nidini Kinye ma recognizing an organizations Chijujo Ka Tukyapsa chebonde sehad kichijinda go sehad ngat Victor sehad ngat kami kugure kekla sehad sawe tokol but chebonde sehad chebonde reproductive health Uganda ulogama cha lotela gijegura kwa family planning chebonde Reach a Hand Uganda chebonde Straight Talk Foundation chebonde Nafofano chebonde mba unipa ki Uganda network of young people living with HIV and AIDS chebonde React ngijebonde mba Hope Mbale kinya jemde cheto story chikasta organizations sinek tuju chega story logo yok cheta bonich kwa sabin
Getsabon Groman. Mwajini nenyi parents, message to the parents.
And to further inquire about the question, parents should raise up the child with good upbringing and teaching them about the more uncomfortable things so that you won't have uncomfortable situations in the future. So that the daughter can go into school knowing what they are doing, what they are going to school for, and what they shouldn't do, so that they can have a better future to achieve their dreams.
All right, thank you so much. Lastly.
Okay, kaitabon Victor ma gasta chago to goljoga prsimude ku kostoi program bajoga ku ka tepte butoga lak anget le kanyor wap kembale undo kamoi kita kala gujiong do won setap tipige ngata stage mutbuga bay kitatmuge agasale amwajini bade boy kla gomba mama la jeshem jitki jismandi tbuga bay gujiong tati ni won setap tipi kemala jismandi tbuga bay yoga ding mele kala chowngale ga buglit cho jing mele cho masakpet ko kaji lokle pet ku twede ka ko ain segulo cho masakpet ka jimat bata pagaba jemi chi ni wedding asomo kele a chaka to gol jio mege wana ke kasle ka je lektangalek cho mami ko le to pagaba nje shem je pishi jengalo limbale go e ka mamu jamba ko lek pet sugulo de ga lek pet sugulo ngate ta ke kit ka shimba ko sina kala kyo ku pa programs te bagas miti jemi ko le go je shem je pis karoman nyoda nyama ko parting amutun amo ja chaka to gol le a tun jeshem je pondige mas je mi de district offices je mi de je mwele chiwanya pa shok yo je bondo dinonyo bayo mi program kita satai jem de ke pani je kasle ka mi programs je mas mi je tasatai je chiotin bajo ngala kita ka biga drama mas je bondo jotogol so kun je so mokle ak pondige ak pa jem de ngale galak angot tan ga no kwani dismak ke monges kai tabon.
All right, kai tabon ak pe koromne administrators.
Thank you, yes.
Just 1 minute. Yes.
Thank you, Elgon Radio. Thank you, all of the people who have been in here. My last word is, dear parents at Gamatui, we are looking after the girls. When it comes to being morally upright, we are doing it, we are doing our best, and to those of you who have girls there, they have testified. Give us the girls, like I told you, we still have vacancies in all classes, apart from senior 4 and 6, you'll not regret. Serun Kumanambi Rosemary, head teacher Gamatui, the Green School.
All right, thank you so much. Itchaya det nyamagugeri, mande ko sani, amnya jebonde ngalek cheta porin karomani.